Hi, Jen Gilchrist here. Excited to be leading another weekly Oracle card reading for the week of July 21st through 27th. And I'm going to be working with the Astral Realms, a crystal oracle. And I think I'm going to be calling from the Rose Oracle from Rebecca Campbell. I happen to just have my pocket size one up here, but it was calling me. So that is what we're going to do. Quick announcement to pay attention for a free event, a free Starseed Awakening and Coming Home event. There's going to be a free portion and an optional paid upgrade for $11.11. It will be happening early August, but you can register for it now. So I'll put that information in the description as well. So let's take a look here. The first card is Introspection, Fluorite, and if you are a numbers person, 15. Okay. So what I'm seeing here, what I feel about this is emotional healing. I feel like fluorite can be good for a lot of things, of course, but this feels like helping you have some, like I don't want to say emotional stability may not be quite the right thing. 'Cause it's not that you're not emotionally stable, but it's kind of like stabilizing your emotional body, grounding your emotional body, being able to stabilize the emotion and release things so that you can be more embodied. It feels like that's part of what you've probably been going through. And so the fluorite can be a really powerful tool to help you bring your body and your all the different layers of your light bodies kind of into alignment and to release and let go. So I feel like that's working with releasing on the emotional level and then integrating into the body. It also can awaken your psychic insights. I mean, there's lots of things that the fluorite crystals do. So don't limit it to that, but that feels like the first card that I'm getting that feels aligned with. Oh, this powerful. So the next one is Pink Amethyst. Number 16, if you're a numbers person, Divine Love and Soul Star Chakra, which is that chakra above your crown chakra. It houses like that connection. It's like your higher self information, access to the fifth dimensional, multidimensional gifts and things like this. So pink amethyst, so it does feel like heart healing. So when we put this together, it feels like you're releasing and healing a lot on a heart chakra level. It could be that you're also just elevating your divine feminine energy. A couple of weeks ago, it was the message was in the beginning of the month was about leaning back, rest, rejuvenate. There's been a lot of healing, a lot of purging on an emotional level going. So it still feels like there's some healing happening here. And the pink amethyst is such a beautiful energy. I have a lot of it, but it's actually in my bedroom. I don't think I have it up here, but it's a really beautiful stone that can be very healing, and I feel like heart chakra clearing, but it's also got the amethyst vibration which can activate the psychic senses, activate your multidimensional gifts, activate your psychic gifts. So it feels like a connection between your heart and then maybe awakening that high heart to the throat chakra and those gifts all the way through your third eye, your crown, your soul star, kind of opening up that line of communication. So that's really powerful. You've definitely been kind of going through an energetic upgrade. I'm just noticing intuitively on the card, like I feel like this call to recognizing if you're mirroring anybody or if somebody's triggering you, you could have a person in your life that you're mirroring. For some of you, it doesn't feel like very many, but it could be also related to a relationship that you're going through or attracting. That could be like a soul bond type relationship where there's a lot of mirroring happening. It could be just using, if you are feeling triggered by anybody, if there's any communication with anybody that's kind of been a little rough or that you're working through a relationship pattern or healing a past relationship or old grief or any of that, like just noticing what that's bringing up and what that's mirroring and what your part within it is so that you can heal it up fully and let it go. The next card is Tangerine quartz. Interesting. I don't think I have any tangerine quartz actually. That's very interesting. I'm going to look it up. Shakti energy, solar plexus chakra, and the number 5. And so I feel like this is kind of starting to bring your energy, like all the healing and the emotional purging that you've been doing and embodiment that's being called upon for like a few months. I feel like we're kind of been in this phase of purging and embodying energy. It's kind of culminating into now that solar plexus of taking action forward, of moving forward in the direction of your inspiration, of your intuition, of where your heart's calling you towards. So this is kind of bringing you full circle to start to call you into action. It feels like there could be some purging. If there's still purging and introspection to be had, then that has to usually come before you can get into that action mode. Or sometimes, I guess, if you take the action, it might kind of force the stimulated healing and purging. But most of the time, it feels like there's a level of purging that gets out of the way so that you can be in consistent and inspired action on your intuitive guidance. And the wasteland says sustainability, slow down. So that's what this is, kind of like almost the same message that we had early in the month, like the week of the 7th. I remember this coming up, and it was all about, I think forevermore, we're going to be in a space of we have to bring more balance, especially as highly sensitive, intuitive, empathic people. We have to, I mean, this has been in my life for over a decade. It's been important for well over a decade and become a non negotiable to just have a balance of my spiritual time. For me, that's the morning, guarding my a morning, having a good hour. And if you can't do that, and if I don't have time in a day, 5 minutes is better than no minutes of meditation and journaling. But I try to really carve out consistently more like an hour. I like to have some time to have my coffee or tea and maybe sit in the hot tub, meditate, journal, and just kind of actually have some space to reflect and to align and to bring in the intuitive downloads for the day before I begin and start actually just in response to everything, in response and reacting to the emails and responding to the demands. And what I should do. Instead, I get to kind of first calibrate myself to where's my alignment with me and then what's my prioritize. And then I can go about my day in a much more balanced way. And so it does feel like there could be a level of, pushing or maybe not having that balance. And so just what can you do to bring yourself into more sustainable balance? This card actually fell out. I forgot there was 2 cards for the first one. So let's see how these kind of work together. The energy is hematite, culmination, root chakra, and the number 7. And so this has to do with grounding. Yeah. So actually, I didn't see this initially, but it's sort of what I was talking about with the solar plexus. Like the fruition of this is you've been going through a lot of purging of the emotional body, of the limitations or whatever, really tuning into that divine self, activating more trust and connection to your intuition. And it's like now it's like being called to take action. But part of this is that you're having to ground your energy into that pillar of light. It's about being grounded and present in the present moment so that you can actually bring all this together so that your manifestation can happen, so that there can be a culmination of fruition of what you've been working towards. And so that's the message for this week. Let me know how this resonates for you. I feel, I guess, one more card's coming out. The crowning, initiation, threshold, and rebirth. So yeah, you're going through a pivotal time, and it doesn't always feel so straightforward. Some of you might be further along on the rebirth. Some of you might be going, I wish I've just been stuck in the muck, like wherever you're at is coming. Just keep with it, like crowning, right? That's right. Like when you're birthing a baby, if you've ever birthed a baby, or just the beginning of a rebirth, of an initiation, like you're moving through. It's like it's just starting, but it doesn't, like it's still like the relief isn't quite there yet. You know what I mean? There's just this level of doesn't have to be painful and traumatic, but a lot of times it can feel like that. So if it does, just keep moving forward and know that you're on the precipice of this, and you got to double down on the balancing, on the receiving, on the groundedness, on the taking the action, steadfast action. Could be more methodical, doesn't have to be a burnout action, but inspired, intuitively led, soul led, heart led action. Right? That's what you're feeling called to do. Be sure to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments below how this resonates. And check out, I have 2 things: the Starseed Awakening Starseed event, which there's a free portion, and then there's a second paid portion of 1111. It's going to be honoring and kind of activating for the Lionsgate portal, which will be very, very powerful. I've done this a couple of times now, and it's been amazing every time. Lots of channeled messages and activations that you'll, I think, really, really enjoy. And then I also have been leading a lot of transformational retreats. So if you've been on the radar for my dolphin retreat, Swim with the Wild Dolphins in Red Sea, my Bali retreat, I've got Mount Shasta, 2 dates, fall of 25 and June of 2026. And there could be, who knows, like there's just, I keep coming up with where I feel called to go. It's a part of an aspect that I've been growing. Check it out. The reason why I'm saying this is because we're a few days before the end of the month. And that means all of the most extended payment plans on all of my retreats are going to shift, because that means we're a month closer to the retreat, which means I can no longer offer whatever is the lowest monthly payment right now. Will shift for the coming month ahead, since we will be a month closer. So just a reminder, a friendly reminder, a nudge. If you have been looking and eyeballing one and just haven't checked it out, you can look in the comments, and I'll put my retreat page there so you can check them out, and feel free to email me with any questions. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.